Welcome to Franchise Marketing Radio, brought to you by SEO Samba. Comprehensive high-performing marketing solutions for mature and emerging franchise brands. To supercharge your franchise marketing, go to SEOSamba.com. That's SEOSAMBA.com.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Franchise Marketing Radio, and this is going to be a fun one. Today on the show, we have Austin Samuelson, and he is with Tacos for Life. Welcome.
Hey, Lee. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I am excited to learn what you're up to. Tell us a little bit about Tacos for Life. How you serving folks?
Yeah, so Tacos for Life, we're a restaurant, but really what we are is we're an organization that fights hunger. We do that by serving really great tacos. We have over 14 chef-inspired tacos on the menu, everything from your traditional, fajita chicken tacos, beef tacos, steak tacos, all those things, to, more fun and adventurous versions of tacos, like a Korean barbecue steak taco or a Hawaiian shrimp taco. So we sell great tacos, but we do that so that we can help be a part of fighting world hunger. Every taco, salad, rice bowl, quesadilla that we sell, we donate a meal to a child in need through a third-party organization called Feed My Starving Children. So that's what we're all about here at Tacos for Life, and what gets us excited every day.
Now, how did that, what's the genesis of the idea of not only just selling great food, but also partnering where you can help other people in the manner that you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Lee, really, it's if you rewound our story, 12 years ago, my wife and I, Ashton, we had 12 years ago, we had never worked in a restaurant, never had aspirations to own a restaurant. Just wasn't on our radar. We were living life. I was working in commercial real estate. She was teaching school. But we heard something one day, this is back in 2009, we heard a statistic then that 18,000 children die every day from starvation. And, we knew hunger is a problem. We knew starvation is a problem. But for some reason, when we heard that, it just both struck a chord with us. And we also heard Rich Stearns he's the CEO of World Vision, a very large organization that does relief work all over the world. He was sharing these statistics at a church that we were attending. And he said two other things. He said, our planet produces enough food to feed everyone. And then the third thing he said was, this number of 18,000 children dying every day from starvation, it can be zero, but it's going to take us doing something about it. And that's really what started Ashton and I on this journey. It didn't happen immediately, but it started over the next couple of years, us really questioning, okay, how could we be a part of helping feed kids? How could we be a part of seeing a day when no child has to die from starvation? And it led us down this path to opening a restaurant. And really, it came about because at that time, and still they're very popular, but Tom's Shoes was really taking off. We had a pair, I had a pair of shoes. Ashton did too. Everybody, everybody's talking about them, And so, Lee, here's the funny part. Having never worked in a restaurant before, we both we thought, hey, if a shoe company can donate a pair of shoes for every shoe they sell, how hard could it be for a restaurant to do that? It can't be that hard, right? And that whole question is what sparked this journey. We've since learned now, 10 years later, that it is a little bit hard to do, but it's possible, and it's totally worth it. And we're getting to be a part of helping feed kids all over the world with Tacos for Life now.
Now, but what brought you to tacos? Like, it could have been, a fine dining in doing this. Like, how did you choose the route you've chosen regarding this type of a restaurant and specifically tacos?
Yeah, so the simplest answer is we love to eat tacos. We lived in Southern California for a time. We're both from Arkansas. That's where we're based out of now. But we just love Mexican food. We love tacos. We love that with tacos you can really you can go any direction you want from a culinary flavor profile standpoint. You can do your traditional stuff, but then you can get pretty creative And my wife, she's a chef, and she says, hey, the tortilla is just a blank canvas, and you can do a lot of fun things with it. And we love tacos, and tacos are popular. They're a crowd pleaser, so it's worked really well. We did, just to note, we did actually start with a pizza restaurant before Tacos for Life. That's where we first tested the mission out, and we transitioned over to tacos, really just trying to continue to tweak the model and see what would work. And we found that with the taco concept with Tacos for Life, there was just an excitement. It really met a need in Arkansas. There wasn't a lot of taco concepts at the time when we first started in 2014 with Tacos for Life. And so those kind of things all coming together is what brought us here.
Now, what was kind of the clue that you were onto something?
Oh my gosh. Well, with the pizza restaurant, we had just a lot of support in the community and even around the state, people loving the idea of being able to donate a meal, being able to help participate in doing good. But people talked about that. Okay. And we're a restaurant, right? So the first day, I remember after we opened Tacos for Life, we had a line out the door. It never stopped all day. It poured as a thunderstorm, it had lightning and stormed all day long. And the line just never went away. And people were really raving about the food along with the mission. And I think that's when we closed the doors that night, I remember looking at Ashton and saying, okay, we can do something with this mission, and Tacos for Life is going to be it. And there's just something about it after that first day, just the response that we got from the guests was unlike anything we'd experienced at the pizza restaurant. And it was this great combination of just an excitement for the food, just doing something unique there, along with a really tangible mission of getting to help other people.
Now, did you build this to franchise it? Was that always the thing, or did it start out of, hey, we'll start this one, maybe grow a little bit and see where it takes us, or did you always have your eye on being a franchisor?
No, yeah, franchising really came about after a few years in, and we really, we started, Lee. We didn't have a big grand plan of what we were going to do. It was kind of one day at a time and seeing how we could feed more kids. And we knew if we opened more restaurants, we could feed more children. Every restaurant provides about 1,000 meals a day. So there was a motivation to grow and open more restaurants, but I didn't know anything about franchising, and, opening more company restaurants was simple, from that standpoint. Franchising was this big thing we didn't really understand, not having any experience with it. So, but after a couple of years, we got to know some folks and some people that had a lot of experience with franchising, and we did our first round of franchising and back in 2017, and we got our FDD and got all the documents together, and we franchised 3 locations, and 2 of them went really well and 1 of them didn't. And we learned a whole lot. And we really kind of paused there. We stopped franchising. We still had all the documents, still had everything together. We worked really hard with the 2 franchisees that remained, and got great relationships with them. They're still on the team, and talk to them multiple times a week. And they're great folks and great partners to the organization and the mission. But what we really did is we kept opening company restaurants, and really with the mindset of like, okay, for this to work with this mission, we've got to get the model really locked in, and we've got to get it nailed down for this to be something that works from a franchising standpoint. So we continue to kind of watch our franchisees, continue to talk to them, get feedback. We continue to improve the model, tweak, get more efficient on the company restaurants. And spent about 3 years doing that. And then, last year in 2020, right before this whole pandemic started, we decided, hey, we're ready to franchise. So obviously God had different plans then in that moment, but that's kind of the full circle, the whole franchising. We started out and we learned a lot of great things, but now we're all in, and we've got 8 franchise locations open, and quite a few more in the pipeline. And it's really the way that we see the mission being furthered, having kind of watched and learned from our first couple franchisees.
Now, any advice for other emerging franchisors when it comes to doing your due diligence, building the right systems, and knowing when it's the right time to pull the trigger to, really put on a different hat, right? Because a Tacos for Life operator is different than a Tacos for Life franchisor that's training people to be successful in their market. It's a little different kind of mission and objective from that standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you said it, it's all about the systems and the processes. And it's all about what I had to learn as a founder was, okay, what are the, we call them strategic anchors. Okay. But what are those like sacred cows that, these are, we don't compromise in these areas. And then what are the things that we're going to be willing to move on? And then how do we also create a relationship so that we can learn from our franchisees? And that's what I love most about franchising is this element of like, hey, we're in this together and we're a team that's working to improve Tacos for Life together so that we can feed more kids, so that they can bring more profit down to their restaurants. So it's we're fully aligned in that. And I think understanding that relationship on, hey, what are we not going to compromise on? What are we willing to move and do? And then what's the right format and relationship to have a full cycle kind of feedback loop, those three things I just have been incredibly important to us.
Now, is the ideal franchisee different today than it was, the first time you took a bite of this apple?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's what we say today, Lee. We say it's a two-part formula for us with our franchisees or prospective franchisees. They have to be here because of the mission. They have to want to be with Tacos for Life because we have this opportunity to help end starvation. That's got to be why they're here. That's got to be their motivating factor. But it quite honestly, it can't outweigh their desire to run a profitable, successful restaurant. So those have to match up fully. Where we've gotten ourselves in trouble or where we've found there's misalignment is when one outweighs the other. So, obviously it's easy to look at the profit side and say, well, if someone is only concerned about bringing as much profit to the bottom line as possible, then the mission's going to get in the way of that, right? So it's easy to pick on that side of the equation. But we've also learned that it's just as easy to pick on the other side. If you're all about the mission and you're not running your business as efficiently as possible, if you're not constantly working every day to improve and to get better and to serve the guests better, then the mission will sputter as well. So for us, it's a two-part formula. You got to be here because of the mission, and you got to be here because you want to run a really great restaurant. So,
but those are two equal. Like those aren't, one doesn't take precedent over the other.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe when we first started, we would say, okay, we're going to tilt a little heavier towards the mission, but the reality of it is so that we can feed kids, we have to run a very efficient business because that's it's taking a hit. When we donate a meal every time we sell a taco, that's coming right off the top line. We treat that as a cost of goods. So, you could say we're operating at a bit of a disadvantage compared to the competitors because of that extra cost in our P&L.
And now that you kind of the model is more baked and it's seems to be growing well, is it easier to kind of identify people though when you have a mission at the top of as the true north or as part of the true north of the organization? Do those people kind of present themselves to you in a little more efficient fashion than just somebody saying, "Oh, I have a taco restaurant. We'll take anybody that can fog a mirror and write a check"?
Right. Yeah. I actually think it does. I think, I don't know what the, would be normal for everybody else, but we get a ton of applications in and we talk to a lot of people, and the ratio of those that, come in for an interview is there's a lot of applications and very few people that come in. And it's not because we're being ultra picky. It's just we're able to both see and people select out when they understand the impact of the mission, and they say, I don't, that sounds nice, but that's more than what I'm willing to invest, to make this mission thing possible. And then for us as well, we're able to understand, hey, now this person's motivation isn't right, or maybe they don't have the skill set to run a restaurant and operate more competitively than they would a normal taco restaurant that doesn't have, a mission involved. So yeah, I think we have to talk to more people perhaps. But I do think it makes it a little easier for us to see, okay, who is in it for the right reason and who's not. It's not just who's got the biggest checkbook in our, where others might feel that way.
So now we've talked a lot about the mission and how integral that is to the brand, but can you talk also about just the food part? Like, you have to have good product and sell tacos that people like. So it seems like you're doing that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one of the big learnings we took out of our first restaurant attempt. The mission's great. But if the food and the service isn't equally as great, if we're not the best in each community that we're in, then the mission it'll just be a nicety, So yeah, we work very hard. We make everything from scratch in our kitchens. We make everything to order. We put a ton of pride in that. And we put a lot of effort into, doing the little things right when it comes to the food and really teaching, young guys and girls how to come in and cook and do things that a lot of places don't do, whereas, maybe the guys down the street are cutting a plastic bag open and, dumping it on a steam table. We're making that beef from scratch, and it's a long process, and it's the way you'd want to do it at home. We have a fried chicken taco, which is probably my favorite taco, Lee, and that is Ashton's grandma's fried chicken recipe. And so that's not just near and dear to our heart, and that's not just special, but we cook it the way her grandma cooked it. We go that extra step and we fry it the right way. And so that is just so important. And then on the service side too, we really pride ourselves in having that extra level. I think we get a leg up on the competition because of our mission. There's a kind of an extra something we get to talk with our guests about. We're kind of, we're on the same side of the table. Our team members are with us because they're excited about helping end starvation. Our guests that understand the mission, hopefully they get it right away. Hopefully they know about it before they walk in the door. But if they don't, we're working hard to tell them about it. And so there's that extra level of connection that we get to have. And we talk about, hey, how are we building relationships and providing really friendly service as opposed to just moving people through a line and making it transactional.
So now what's next for you? Obviously continued growth, but do you have any plans you can share for 2022?
Yeah. So, like I mentioned earlier, we really kind of got geared back up on the franchising side of things in 2020, and then got a little bit distracted, as did everybody else did, for much of the year. But fortunately, we still had some success. We sold some franchise, brought some new partners in, and opened a few locations, opened a couple more this year. And then we've really just been filling up the pipeline. So we'll probably see 10 or so locations open next year. And we've got about 12 or so, I guess, on the books for 2023 at this point. And we're just, we're the thing for us, Lee, is we still are taking it slow, because we want each franchisee that we bring on board to, we want them to be successful and for them to, this to be something that they're proud of and that really makes sense for them and their families. So it's a slower process probably than most, but it's a good process, and we work really hard to be intentional throughout. But for the next, we're about to open location number 20, and then hopefully 24 months from now, we've more than doubled that, and we're getting to feed a ton of kids every day. So this year we'll have provided a little over 5 million meals. So, when you put that in perspective, it's just exciting to see every time we open a location, every 3 locations we open, we provide 1 million meals a year. And that's really what motivates us here.
And have you kind of defined that ideal franchisee in terms of not only the mission, they have to obviously have a desire for the mission, but are they people who are transitioning, out of a corporate job into this? Are they, owners of other complementary brands that are just adding Tacos for Life to their portfolio? Are you clear on who that ideal franchisee looks, what they look like?
Yeah, I think we're more of the folks that are transitioning in their careers into us. We don't have a lot of other. We don't have any franchisees or anybody that's in the pipeline that has other concepts in their brand in their portfolio. Not because we're not opposed to it, but because we're just a different animal than what you would get. Shopping on the franchise. What else is out there franchising wise? So. No, our ideal person is someone that's, hey, they're ready to either they have been self-employed or they're ready to take that leap and be their own boss and be in control of their future. But they also want to do something really meaningful with that through our mission and through the environment that they can create with their team. So we work hard on that. We're on the SBA list. We're a preferred partner with them, and so we work hard to if someone needs some help on the funding side, but they have the experience, they have the passion. We work really hard to get them matched up from a banking and funding standpoint, so they can join and be part of this.
And are there certain regions you're targeting as you grow and kind of take over the world, or is it kind of a free for all? You'll take anybody from wherever they are?
Right now we're really focused on the Southeast United States and a little bit into the lower Midwest. And what I mean by that is kind of Oklahoma to Kansas City to St. Louis, and then down throughout. We're over in North Carolina and on down. So that's kind of our, of course, we're in Arkansas here. So that's kind of, if you go across the United States from that standpoint, that's really where we're focusing our efforts right now on growing.
Well, if somebody wants to learn more, is there a website for them to go and check you out?
Yeah, absolutely. So go to tacosforlife.com. We actually just updated the website a few months ago. It is beautiful. A couple of fun things on there. You can learn all about our mission and understand really the dynamics of how it works. We work with a great organization called Feed My Starving Children. There's they and us. We work really hard to provide really great transparency in how the giving works. So you can see all that there. You can track the meal counts per location. So all that is there. And then, of course, to learn about franchising, we have a great section there under the franchising tab, and you're going to probably learn everything you need to know. And then we're, of course, always available to talk. So,
well, thank you so much for sharing your story today. You're doing such important work, and we appreciate you.
Well, thanks for having me on, Lee.
All right, this is Lee Cantor. We'll see you all next time on Franchise Marketing Radio.